Hey guys, welcome back. It is your favorite Gimp of the Limp, and I'm finally back with a little bit more of Flashpoint Campaign's Southern Storm. Now I'm going to have to apologize because I'm not going to be on screen like I was previously because my camera is still broken. I'm still waiting on the repair, and I didn't want to keep pushing this video off. So it's just going to have the stuff that you need. You won't be able to see my pretty mug on screen, but you'll be able to see everything else that you need. Hopefully I will get my camera back soon so I can start getting tabletop stuff going again. Now, we're going to pick up where we left off before. I did the basic videos, right? A couple of those. And we're not going to go over all of that information again. So don't start here. This is intermediate, right? This is adding some stuff. And actually, it's not all that difficult what we're adding to it. We are going to go to our scenario, and you see there's a buttload of scenarios here, but previously I covered the basics. Now we're going to touch on the intermediate features. And this is basically aircraft is what gets added to it. It does tell you what tutorial that you need to open up for this. I've already got that opened here. So if you want to follow along with me step by step as we're going, make sure you have this pulled up and the game pulled up so you can easily flick between the two. We'll go ahead and hit proceed. We're going to leave the computer opponent, okay? Player will be NATO because that's what we're operating with. We don't have to worry about any battle plan. There's only one to go with here. Now proceeding again. I am going to change some of the settings here for the Fog of War because this has some scouting going on with it. So I don't want the enemy to always be spotted. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bump this up to veteran. It's not really going to matter for our purposes. It just changes what you can see. Recruit shows everything, and I needed that more for the previous one to show you guys how the systems work. That way I could point at the enemy. Now I want you to be able to see how some of the hunting and spying and spotting works with especially helicopters. So we're going to bump this up so enemy units are not going to be always visible, but I'm going to leave it here to where we can still see our victory points, terrain markers, and all that good stuff. And just as an FYI, it does touch on that here in the menu here, and it does say here, allow for browsing of spotted enemy units. I should turn that on. So we'll go to custom and we'll cut this off. There we go. That way I can see some information on the enemy units to show you guys, but we'll hit proceed and we'll load in our game. Here we are. All right. So we'll hit proceed. We don't need to read all this and scroll out just a little bit. Now, you're going to see that this looks very similar to what we showed last time. Let me just move this out of the way. For now, we've got the units that we had before, but now we've got some extra units. We got some helicopters down here, a little base for them, and then we've got some surface-to-air assets as well. Some missiles, and I think there are some Vulcan cannons as well. And also, see over here, I can't see the enemy like I could previously. That is a key point, but we still do have our objectives here. Now, we can still show the user graphics just like we did before. And again, all our same shortcuts still work like they did before. Make sure you guys use those for like line of sight and the orders, all that good stuff. Again, reference the previous video if you haven't seen it to understand what we're going to talk about. Now I've got all my unit stuff over here, but we're going to get into some more specifics. And if we scroll down on our thing here, it starts talking about all the new units and what all they have. So just to show you guys those real quick, remember, we can click on our units, right click, and we can, well, let me get off of that. Go to our unit dashboard here, and it shows what we have. The surface-to-air missile, so this is SAM-1, and subunits, and it shows you exactly what's in there. The Humvee and the Stingers. I can vouch that these Humvees blow up pretty easy because I was in one. And we also have our unit dashboard here and the subunits, and this is Vulcans. Okay, Vulcan anti-air. This is shorter range. I think they said this is about 1,500 meters versus something like 1,500 meters versus 5 kilometers for the SAMs. So a little shorter range, but we've got those. So SAM-1, SAM-2, the Vulcans, and then down over here with our helicopters, we've got this little Scout 1, and we can pull up its dashboard and see this is talking about a very specific helicopter. And then again, we've got a couple of Cobras, right? And these have a couple of attack helicopters in them. Again, shows the orders and subunits that are there, their weapons, their ammo, readiness, morale, all that good stuff is the same as what we talked about previously. Now, look over here to the right of the screen. You see right here, this shows all the units. So I've got a headquarters unit that has the ground forces. So the recon and the tank and the mortars, same that we had in that basic scenario, they're all still here. And I can click here to select them. Look over here. You see how it's lighting up, okay, as I'm selecting them from here. Or I can hold my cursor again over top of them and it'll pop up and it'll show what's in that hex. So first ACR, second ACR, again, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then the mortar platoon over here. Make sure you spend a little time, go through the unit dashboards, get the information, see what all they have here. This HQ here isn't as much of a like HQ unit as it is a depot, right? So this is where your helicopters are going to come back to rearm and resupply in between the times of sending them out into conflict. All right, so you'll see during the mission as the helicopters come back over to here. It talks about all of this in our tutorial. In the explanation, it talks about the Stingers, the Spags, the FARP, which I believe is the headquarters, the Scout, the attack helicopter, and the close air support, which I have forgotten to show you just yet. And if you look at this little button right here, that OMA, off-map assets, click on that, boom, look at this. We've got some off-map assets as well. These are some A-10s that we can call in to do some airstrikes. Now I'm going to go ahead and do this because they say this in the tutorial, so we'll go ahead and get it out of the way. But you want to click on this, and where it says is under FSCC staff control. So this means that basically the AI can call them in. You want to click off of that. So when you click, you see this is unchecked. That means that the AI, your forces are not going to call them in for you. You will get to pick to call in the air support. So we're going to pull both of those off for now. And again, it shows readiness, morale, ammo, all the other good information right here. And if you click on the menu, you can again pull up the unit dashboard to see the specific information as well. And with these guys, now we're going to have to start worrying about weather because that can affect being able to call in those off-map assets. They too can be accessed over here on the right where you have all your units, okay? You see right here, list down all of our units. These are our air units. These are some of our anti-air units. And then CAS as close air support 1 and 2. So both sets of those are right here. So all this works the same as what we've talked about previously. Okay, so continuing on, this goes into planning out the plan of attack, what we're going to do. And when it comes to the air assets, the on-map air assets, it's not really any different. Your anti-air supplies, the units, those are the same. You don't have to do anything different than we've seen before in the basics. It tells you where you're wanting to put things for our tutorial here. And then for our aircraft, it shows for the Scout, you want him to go around. And for our combat helicopters, we want to tuck them in behind a ridge so they're not going to get taken out. I'm going to go through this first set, okay? The first set laying out the orders. And then after that, I'm just going to do the rest of it off screen because, again, this is stuff we've covered in the basics and I don't want to waste time filming all that. But we'll show the basics of how you're going to move units once again, just for brevity's sake. But before we do that, something down here in the bottom, it talks about setting up your SOPs for all of your different units, and it wants you to do different things. And this, for the tutorial, I wish they had actually placed higher because it says it may be easier to do these SOPs before doing the movement orders as long as you plan to use default SOPs for all the waypoints. So you know, you can do these beforehand and just go ahead and have all the SOPs done, or you can do them afterwards. It's not a huge deal, but if they want you to do it first, they should have had this section higher up in the tutorial, but it's all right. We will go ahead and get it taken care of. So it talks about for our ground forces, they're all going to have different sets of orders going on for them. So the ACRs, the tanks. So we got our recon, our tanks, our anti-air assets, the HQ, and then the mortars, the scout, and then the attack helicopters. So let's do one of these real quick, just to remind you guys how SOPs are going to work. We'll do our ACR here, and then the rest of these, again, we're going to get them done off screen. All right, so we'll click on our ACR and bring up our SOP manager. Remember, you can right click to bring this up. Boom, here it is. So this same screen is what they're showing to you right here, okay? Click here, and this is where we can change it. It says preferred standoff range. They want at 4. They want maximum range, and then I think it is direct fire losses. After, yeah, taking direct fire losses, concealment, and support. Okay, so after taking direct fire losses, movement by concealment, and support passengers. So we've set up our SOP. And remember, here on the left, we can either apply this to just this unit, or we can apply this to all units of the same type. All right, so there's multiple different options we can do with this. And you're going to do this for all the different guys, right? You'll bring up your SOPs, apply all of these different options to all of the different ones, okay? So we're going to do this real quick off screen, and then we're going to pick back up with setting orders. Okay, so I've gone through and I applied all the SOPs to all the different units, but I haven't actually given them any orders just yet. So if you're doing this one, the intermediate tutorial, I would recommend coming down to the bottom of it right before the start of the battle. Go ahead and put in all your SOPs, and then scroll up a little bit and get to where we're talking about putting in these orders and do that step. Also, I would go ahead and save, and name it this. We can name SOPs applied and have our game saved there. That way we know we've already got our SOPs in. Now we're set to start doing our orders. So if we look here on this little map and scroll in just a little bit, for our different units, it tells us for ACR 1, 2, and 3, they're going to go right here. So ACR 1, 2, and 3 in the red. ACRs 4, 5, and 6 are going to go in these yellow circles. And then SAM 1 is going to be in this yellow diamond. So we're going to finalize them all with a hold order once they get to their location. So let's go ahead and do these just to reiterate how you're going to give your orders. And then for the rest of it, I'm going to let you guys take care of the orders on your own, because they're going to be handled the exact same way when it comes to moving your mortars, moving your tanks, moving your Vulcans. All the other good stuff is going to be handled the same, but we will pick back up when it comes to moving your helicopters. All right, so for our first ACRs 1, 2, and 3, we're going to have one here, we're going to have one here, and we're going to have one here. Remember, we can either select them here or we can select them here. So for ACR 1, we're going to right click on it. We're going to give him a move hasty. Remember, we can do up to 6 waypoints, and we want him to end up right about here. So I want him to go here to right about here, and then up to here. We will commit and then hold. And remember, boom, it shows us our line exactly where he's going to go. And you can click on any one of these points to change it along the way if you don't like how they're moving, okay? Going to do 2. We're going to do the same thing for him. We'll do a move hasty. We will put one here, and put him there. Commit and hold. And now you see his line, which 2 there. Have him go in a little more direct line. And 3, same thing. We're going to move hasty And we can put him pretty much in the last spot and commit and hold. Now, if I hit Control A, you see all the orders that I have put in already are down. Okay. And if I click on these guys, they will become bold, showing which one I have selected. 1, 2, and 3, they're taken care of. Now I've got to put 4, 5, and 6 up here with Sam 1. Let's go ahead and do that real quick. And then we'll do the rest of our ground units off camera. So for 4, we'll do a move hasty. And I think I want him up there. Let's move up just a little bit. Got there, there, there. I'm going to go 1, 2, and 3. We'll commit and hold. And then we'll do 4, 5. Same thing. Move hasty. Go to there. Go to there. Go to there. Commit and hold. And I think I might have to move it around. Yeah, I am off by 1, but that's okay because we can move this real easy. We'll put him right there. And 5, we'll put him right there. And then 6 is going to go move hasty. Here, here, and here. We'll commit, hold, and now we've got to do Sam 1. Same way. We'll right click on him, move hasty, go here, here, and it should be right about there. Commit and hold. And now you see the orders that I have listed down. And again, I can click to bold any one of them and change them if I want to. But I have applied the red and the gold, got them all set up. So if you're going along with me as I'm doing this, this is the part that I have done so far. Now you've got to position your tanks, your HQ, and your mortars into these specific spots. Go ahead and get those taken care of, and we are going to pick back up with attack helicopters 1 and 2. All right, picking back up with the mortars for a second because, again, they're being done just a little bit different. We're going to do the same thing, move hasty, move them down to here, move them there, commit. But the one thing that they want different here, since these guys are mortars, they're not the regular ground assets, is they want to be left on call. So they will make artillery and air units ready for support missions. We want to leave these guys on call. So boom. That is the one difference between these other orders that we've given and this type of unit. Okay, so we're picking back up with the attack helicopters. Now, this is AH-1, AH-2, and they are going to be given a deliberate move order that's going to keep them low and off the enemy radar. So if we scroll down, we see our picture here. And this is where they want us to send these 2 helicopters. This is going to be done in the exact same way that we've done the others. These guys are going to be giving a screen order instead of a hold order, though. So again, we can select them here on the right side, or we can right click on their actual counter itself. Either way, it doesn't matter. We'll move deliberate, and let's check our exact circles. See, north and south of that little ridge. So 1 here and 1 here. We will move him there, there, commit and screen. And then same thing for this guy. Move deliberate here and here, commit and screen. So all of our orders are starting to shape up relatively nicely. A little screwy up here on the top, but that's fine. Got our HQ circling around back here to do some resupplying. Mortars are moved in, tanks are moved in, and now we still have our scout helicopter to do. Now, if you look at this picture here, you see what the purpose of the scout helicopter is. It's the scout. It's that helicopter you see that's got all the wonky equipment there on the top of it so it can poke its nose up and see what's going on without having to get way up in the sky. This is one of the few that actually has 6 orders being given to it. So you see on the screen, we've got our helicopter, and it's going to be going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So it's going to make this whole circuit here, and it actually moves relatively quickly. And it's going to be doing this so it can try to pick up the enemy that is coming in from this right side. Now, when you're doing this, it doesn't have to be on the exact specific hex as long as it's making roughly this circuit here. Don't try to kill yourself if it's the exact specific hex that's being scouted. You just want it to come around here, go up, and then come back down around. Now, the difference is this helicopter is not being given a move deliberate, move hasty, anything like that. We are giving it a hunt order. So it's hunting for the enemy. So same thing though, 6 waypoints. We're going to place one here, and it was like what, roughly here. Say one up about there. Go over to here. 5 roughly there, and 6. So we're making this circuit, and as it's going along, it's hunting for the enemy and trying to find them. So we're going to commit to this. And we are going to finish with a screen order. So it's going to use cover and stand off 6 hexes for the enemy. Scout is a scout. It's not supposed to be out there sticking and jabbing. Now, as you scroll down, you see the rest of this is starting to touch into the SOPs that we have already talked about. So you should be at this point at the starting battle. Your orders should roughly look something like this. It doesn't have to be exactly like this, but you should be able to see this. So make sure you click around through and that you've given orders to all of your different units. They all have their specific places that they're supposed to go to, with the exception of CAS 1 and CAS 2, because they are, again, off screen and they are not going to be involved just yet. And when you're done looking at this, again, you can hit Control A, pull that off, and you don't have to keep that on screen. I would suggest saving your game here very specifically. So we already did our SOPs, and now we have our setup complete. All right, go ahead, mark it down, something like that. And we will overwrite this because I had been doing this off camera once already. Now we're good. We are completely set and ready to start the battle. So here's the thing though, when it comes to the intermediate level, there's really not much else that you have to worry about. The only other thing that's different from what we've seen before is the helicopters themselves, but they're still doing roughly what the ground units are doing. You're moving them around, giving them their orders. The close air support is the only difference. And the thing of it is with this type of game, I can't give you specifics, just like they can't give you specifics here, because different things are going to happen. Your helicopters may get shot at, they may not get shot at, they may see the enemy, they may not see the enemy, because they're going to react different from game to game. So I can't tell you exactly what's going to happen from here on out. All I can do is play it out and kind of let you see how things are going to go, which is what we're going to do now. We'll react with some of our helicopters, and I'm probably going to call in some close air support before I'm ready, just to let you guys see how that works. Probably not the smartest, but again, you're coming to me to learn how, not for great strategy. And just as an FYI, don't forget, again, you can hit Control L like I've done here, and it will show you different lines of sight for your different units. And we can do that for our helicopters as well to see what all they can see, because remember, they're going to have better sight lines than your ground units are going to have. All right. But again, Control L, that pops right off. So once you're saved, once you're good, go ahead and hit start. Okay, so I paused this here real quick just to remind you guys that what you're going to see on your screen is going to be slightly different from what I'm seeing here. The helicopters may spot, they may not spot. Any number of different things could happen depending on which way the enemy comes in. More than likely, you're going to have a scout unit that comes roaring in here along the road, trying to get to these 2 victory points as quickly as possible. But if that doesn't happen on your game, if you don't see the exact same thing that I see, don't worry about it. It's going to be individual for each person. All right, so we'll proceed and hit resume to keep going. 7 more minutes of game time before we can issue more orders. Okay, so hit proceed here, and some of the units have gotten where they were supposed to go, some haven't. You see, if they're still carrying out movement orders, they're going to continue to move around with the orders that you had listed down for them. See, my scout helicopter and almost completed his route, so I probably didn't have the hexes exactly right and took him just a little too far because I think it completed last time I played this, but that's all right. I'm probably going to give him orders to keep circling around doing his hunting. And I'm going to let it play out another round or 2. And one of the things you'll notice, though, is up here at the top that the time changes, right, between the amount of time that's going to elapse before you get to give your next order. And that's going to depend on how many orders you already have going, where your units are moving, how efficient your HQ is being, if it's supplied well. All that good stuff is going to come into it. And did I miss one of these guys? No, he's moving. Okay, for a second I was like, why is he so far back there? I'm wondering if he got jammed up there. Maybe that's what happened, because he shows he's got the movement orders. But let's click on our scout here and give him another hunt order. And let's see, we'll go here. And we'll again skirt around. I'm probably not going to go quite as high as I did last time because I know the enemy's going to come in from this north way. I've never once in all the times I've played this had them come directly in, even though supposedly they will. They always come some units north. The last time I played this, there was like 80% of their forces coming down this highway and splitting up along this area, these couple of roads here. So it will be different for you. See, one about there, what about there? Come back here and we'll finish off right there, and we'll commit and we'll screen. So he's got his scout order, and we're going to go ahead and let this keep running because most of my guys still have movement they have left to complete. And I want to let you guys see some of the missiles start to fire as the enemy Hinds start to work their way in. And then we're also going to call in an off-map air mission to let you guys see that as well. And proceed. I pause this to show you guys. You see, we have now spotted an enemy unit. This is the way the game's actually supposed to be played. The first basics video I did, I had the enemy always spotted. So now you don't know exactly where the enemy is. You're going to have to do some scouting and try to figure out where they are. All right, but let's go ahead and hit proceed. Let you guys see some missiles shoot off here. Sam is firing at their hind, and now our scout has picked up their recon, coming in here, taking control. And our scout is probably going to change direction, which you saw there, because the enemy hind was up there, so he's skirting out. The hind backed off. The scout's actually taking some fire. We've got infantry coming in now from the top. And the enemy has taken both control points. The scout's trying to finish his scouting, which you're going to have to do if you want your tanks to be able to fire. And it looks like we're taking some more anti-air fire here against our scout. And now our resolution phase is over. Okay. And again, I'm not giving you strategy advice. I'm just showing you how this stuff works. So let's call in an off-map asset against something that we can see here. You're going to go to your menu, all right, what we've got. And remember, we don't have these things on call right now. So we've actually got to call it in, and it's not immediate. So let's click on Airstrike, and we will target the location by selecting a hex on the map. There's only one right now that I actually see someone. There's something else up there, but we're not sure exactly what it is. It's probably that hind heading back to resupply. So we will commit that. So he is coming in now to execute his order. Airstrike on that hex. Got him taken care of. I'm not going to send in my other. And just to do it for the giggles, we're going to send in our attack helicopters. They're probably going to get shot down if there are any enemy anti-air assets over here. But let's see, what do we think? Let's do a hunt order with this one, and we'll have him come around. And again, I'm not doing smart. I'm just doing some missions here. And we'll screen, and we'll do a different one. Let's move deliberate with this one just to see how he does. And we'll skirt him around over here just to show you guys how these guys are going to do. And we'll give him a hold order. The rest of these guys are in the positions that they're supposed to be in. The mortars can do on call. And you will see my scout helicopter at some point soon make its way back over to this hex where it will go to resupply. So let's go ahead and hit start and proceed. Wow. Okay. A lot of cool stuff was happening during that one. You saw my helicopters were scouting around. The one over here, the attack helicopter, engaged their recon. A lot of SAM missiles were being fired up here. Not very accurate because I've got them going at maximum range. So they're trying to pick them off as far as they can. It's going to reduce that accuracy. They were attacking some of my recon elements. A lot of cool stuff. I think their recon element got destroyed because it was under fire by both a attack helicopter and a tank going on as well. And I still have my close air support coming in. So let's run one more round. Let you guys see a little bit more of that. Let you see the close air support come in, and we will probably call it for this video. Okay, lot of cool stuff going on during that one. Very awesome to see all that play out. I pulled this up so you guys could see kind of the log of what all was going on. My close air support did some good stuff, but I believe, yep, we lost one on that. Let's pull up the unit dashboard, and you can see one of them was taken out. Status is dead. Sad. They lost some morale over that one, but they did get a good amount of units. There was a lot of fire going on up here, but that's shows you guys how you're going to be using those air assets in a real game. You're going to have to be positioning your anti-air assets in a place. You see my Sam and Vulcan over here. We're trying to protect the tanks as the Hind came in, because the Hind was trying to pick the tanks off the ridge, and the Hind got shot down thanks to the Sam, and I think it was actually the Vulcan that took him out. And the other Sam up here, I think, needs a reload. It'll take a little while for him to get one, because he was getting a lot of attacks in against these Hinds as they were moving in. My own scout had finished up. I should have put him back out around. But you see, the basic gist of the intermediate stuff, it literally just adds the air in, and you're not doing much different as far as the actual controls work with the game, with the aircraft, than you were already doing with the ground forces, except that the helicopters can have hunt missions, and then you also have your off-map assets that you can call in as well, which you need to do smarter than I did. You really need to try to engage and take out those ground forces, or as you saw, there was radar down over here to the right that picked up my close air support and was able to shoot one of them down before he was able to make that out. So you need to try to take out those assets before you send in your air assets. But again, this was just for demonstration purposes, so you guys could see how you're going to operate those things. When we get some time, we will pick up with our last tutorial mission for the advanced options of the game. I do hope this helped you guys out. A little walkthrough of the tutorial and see how it all plays. We're going to do this one more time when we do the advanced stuff. Put any comments or questions you have down below, and hopefully my camera will be back so you'll be able to see my lovely mug in the last episode. All right, that's going to be it for me. You guys take care. I will catch you in the next one.